Hello and welcome everybody to the Ginger and Spice Festival 2022. We are absolutely thrilled you can join us today for this virtual session, Bengal Calling, a welcome to Nabanna Crafts Mela, a festival with a difference. So in this session, you will meet Ms. Shanta Ghosh, Managing Trustee of the Suresh Amiya Memorial Trust that organises the annual Nabanna Crafts Mela, as well as Nabanna Earth Weekend or New Festival in West Bengal in India. We will also be meeting Anjum Katyal, Curator of Nabanna Earth Weekends, who will be making a presentation with video about their festival activities and location. We will follow this with a short informal discussion between us all. So, for those that don't know about the Ginger and Spice Festival, we are a festival that aims to explore relationships with communities we are connected to through our heritage and historical associations. This virtual collaboration between our festival and the Nabanna Crafts Festival and the Earth Weekend is a chance for you to get to know a little bit about their activities, artisans and communities of both festivals, and to explore our shared experiences of hosting festivals, celebrating artisan foods and crafts, both in rural communities. We began this wonderful collaboration at the start of 2022, when we were invited to participate in a virtual capacity for Nabanna Earth Weekend, for a session called It's Only Natural, All Things Local, Sustainable and Green. And it was a great pleasure to be part of that. So it is now with great pleasure that we can return this invitation to our esteemed guests, Ms. Shanta Ghosh and Ms. Anjum Katyal, who I would like to begin by introducing. We will start with Ms. Shanta Ghosh, who's trained as an architect and urban planner at Jagadpur University in India and the University of Pennsylvania in USA, and is currently the chairperson of DC Group of Companies. She is deeply involved in supporting and promoting artisanal and craft-based work through her projects like Confetti Exports, Sienna Cafe and Store, and as president of the not-for-profit Crafts Council of West Bengal. Shanta also serves as managing trustee of the Suresh Amiya Memorial Trust, a public charitable trust that organises the annual Nabanna Crafts Mela, as well as Nabanna Earth Weekend or New Festival in Shanta. I would like to invite you, Shanta, to just say a few words and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Julia. Greetings from Kolkata, India. On behalf of the Trust, I have to say it is a great pleasure to collaborate with Ginger and Spice Festival. The relationship started from last year or this year, Nabanna, and we look forward to the relationship strengthening in the years. We are very excited about that. I'll just say a few words at the beginning about our trust and the work it does. It was founded in 1985 by my late father, Dr. Sadhan Siddharth. And for the most part of our existence, we have dedicated our work initially to early childhood training and education, which still continues. But then for the last 22 years, I would say that we have concentrated on skill development for artisans in West Bengal, India. We have done about 25 technical workshops in collaboration with the Government of India on skill development for several categories of craft. And I think we have helped more than 500 women to earn a living from having been trained and skilled. So for the last 4 years, there's been a new addition to our work. For the last 16 years, actually, we have sponsored this Nabanna Mela, which is an artisans fair, you can say, and it is a platform. They are not charged anything for coming, or there is no commission involved to any middleman. It is a direct interaction between the artisan and the buyer. So it gives them an opportunity to earn a little more and also establish a network with their buyers without a middleman. And I think we have done well because the number of participation is increasing every year. This year it was 220, and we had only started with a dozen, I think. So we are pleased about that. Then for the last 4 years, we have been doing this Lit Fest, which we have called New Nabanna Earth Weekend, which is curated by Anjum, Anjum Katyal. And I think that is also being appreciated and adding and enriching the Mela experience. And last year, we are very glad that you participated online in this. And we also have a growing number of participants in our artisanal food area. And that has become an attraction too for Nabanna Mela. And we have a stall every year on varieties of rice, some grown organic farming, and the different varieties. Some of them are getting hard to procure. So we want to encourage their farming. So you can have an exposure to the varieties of rice which is grown in West Bengal and also in Bangladesh. So that is also an attraction. And I think we look forward to increasing that sector with participants like you. And I would love to visit your festival maybe this year, and I invite you to come to India to our Nabanna Mela next year in March, in the beginning of March. It will give us a lot of happiness, and I think I can ensure that you will have a good time. So
thank you.
With this, I will hand it over to Anjum to talk a little bit more about New, which she curates very well. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, and thank you for your very kind invitation, and we will obviously reciprocate that too. It's been lovely to hear from you, so thank you so much. I would love to invite Anjum Patel to chat to us. However, I'd just like to introduce her first of all. Anjum is a writer, she's an editor, a translator and a critic with years of experience in curating literary festivals. And in fact, that's how I met Anjum through the Kolkata Literature Festival. She was chief editor at Seagull Books for close to 20 years and also editor of Seagull Theatre Quarterly from 1994 to 2004. Anjum is the author of several books on theatre performance and has translated several plays also. She writes poetry and she sings the blues, so multi-talented. Anjum is currently curator of Nabanna Earth Weekend's New Festival and also director of the Abby J. Kolkata Literature Festival. Anjum, we'd love to invite you now to talk to us and to share your video presentation. Anjum, I think you're actually on mute, so I'm just going to unmute you.
Forgot to unmute myself.
Yes. Do start
thank
again,
you
Anjum.
So much for that. Yes. So I was just saying thank you for the generous introduction. It was lovely to listen to Shanta tell us about the early origins of the Nabanna Crafts Mela. I'm going to pronounce it the way we do here. So spelled N-A-B-N-N-A, but we say Nabanna. And the word Nabanna actually means, in Bengali, it means a new harvest. So it's all about fresh beginnings, about hope and renewal after the months. And the Nabanna Crafts Mela is now an annual tradition in Shantiniketan. And we'll also talk a little bit about Shantiniketan as this location of this Mela and why it's such a special place. And we're going to see that in the brief video that we show. And the Crafts Mela is always held just before the Spring Festival, which is the festival of Holi, the festival of color, which is celebrated all over the country and has a very special way of being celebrated in and around Shantiniketan, because that's when all the local flowers are in bloom and the new sort of spring season is being celebrated after the dryness and aridness of winter. We don't quite have the same kind of winters that you have in Europe, but the winter period is still a cold and sort of barren and arid period, at least in terms of agriculture and nature. And everything comes back to life with the spring, as it does for you in Europe as well. So shall we start looking at the video? We've put this together for you and we hope you enjoy it. Can I invite my colleague Atrey to start the video, please? Now, what you see here is the peaceful rural area of Shantiniketan. And this was a little rural area that was developed by the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore into a setting for his university. We see the plants, we see the local river. You've seen the red earths, which we call lal mati, which is typical of this area. The adobe style housing, local minstrels and bards, and Vishwa Bharati University, which was set up by Rabindranath Tagore, our philosopher, sage, poet, a really iconic figure in India's cultural history. The thinking behind this was for it to grow into a cultural and arts hub, open to all the best ideas and influences from all over the world, full of arts and culture, full of dance and music. These are some of the crafts supported by the Suresh Memorial Trust, which are developed locally. This is brass work. The music you're listening to is the typical folk music of the area. This is cane and bamboo. And this is work being done on terracotta. These are the craftsmen working at their cane and bamboo work, women doing stitchcraft, and some of the finished products in the showroom at Shantiniketan. See, the Shanta had talked about how about 500 women have been supported in terms of skill upgradation, and that was what they were doing, working with fabric. Some more of the metal work. These are some of the workshops that have been held over the years. Pottery being handcrafted. hand stitching, embroidery, the typical Katha stitch of West Bengal, of Bengal actually, across the borders. This is the space where every year, as part of the Mela grounds, the Nabanna Earth Weekend Festival of Arts and Ideas is held. And soon you'll see, this is Nabanna, the Crafts Mela. We're going to see what it looks and feels like. "10 days every year, this space is completely transformed into this bustling, lively, vibrant festival where, as Shanta already explained, and there she is in a blue sari looking resplendent. These are some of the inaugurals that have happened over the years. The new rice, the first rice of the season being poured. And that's our way of inaugurating the festival.
The artisans of the region, and as well as in Dinajpur
and
other places of West Bengal for almost 20 years. In our endeavor to help the artisans to help themselves through providing them marketing platform, like the one we are having right now, Nabanna, providing them skill upgradation, design development, and as an engineering company being the base of the trust, technology development. We have done around 55 design workshops. In these workshops, the artisans have participated. We have had designers from Ahmedabad, from NIFT, and other design institutes to give them appropriate designs, the ones that the market now needs, and what is best suited to their skill. It is very important to understand the skill of the artisan. A design has to be what matches his skill. Everybody cannot do everything. So understanding the skill of the artisan and upgrading their skill is a very important part, we feel, in taking handicraft forward. So we have done 55 of these workshops, of which 1,800 artisans have directly participated, and indirectly there is a large number of other artisans who have done. Then the other area we thought that needs to be taken care of is that we have found that many of the crafts have languished. The reason being that the children don't take up the trade that their parents have practiced for many reasons. So we have in 20 schools around this area, which mainly has children artisanal from the artisanal families, the tribal backgrounds, we have given them courses on craft awareness, history of the craft, what you should be doing, what are the benefits of learning this craft. And we are happy to say that a number of them have continued their practice of their parents of becoming craftsmen and working in the field of craft. The other area that we have worked is making self-help groups. Self-help groups are small groups, which you are aware, who in like a small little community make their products and sell it to the market. Another focus area of the trust is empowering women. In our 1,800 artisans that we have trained, a majority are women and those from the underprivileged section. In this, the government of West Bengal has been very helpful. This department of the government has been holding our hands for the last 6 years, and through them we have trained 800 ladies, women in Katha stitch, in cane and bamboo work, and natural fiber. Thank you for your patience, and please support the trust. Please support the artisans. When you go out, buy from them because they need your help and what they look forward to your support. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
These are now the craftsperson stalls that we're seeing. All the different things on display being made on the premises as well as being shown and showcased. The rich textiles of Bengal. Silver and bead jewelry. Books and rice. This is a popular stall of all the local snacks, many of them using seasonal and very, very local ingredients, freshly made. These are the cultural performances that are part of the festival every evening. Street theatre style performance. And this is where we hold the Nabanna Earth Weekend. A few quick shots over the years. Some of our best known writers, musicians, thinkers, artists coming together to talk and discuss. This is our presence in Dhaka, across the border. That was the year of the lockdown. This was earlier this year when we were able to get back into Shantiniketan physically. And this year we did a hybrid festival with Ginger and Spice joining us live from the UK. Romila Thapar is one of our most respected historians. The lady who inaugurated the festival. another virtual session. Someone you recognize and a place you recognize. These were some of the local organic farming initiatives. Young entrepreneur activists talking about their experiences. Program on children's literature and children's writing in cinema. And a wonderful performance by little kids of a very famous play by Rabindranath Tagore.
উদ্দেশ্যটা যেটা প্রধান উদ্দেশ্য যে হস্তশিল্পীরা তাদের সুন্দর সুন্দর জিনিস তাদের হাতে তৈরি করেন সেই তাদের শিল্প কর্মগুলোকে একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম দেওয়া যেখানে তারা বিভিন্ন বায়ার্স যারা এখানকার স্থানীয় এবং বাইরের থেকে যারা আসছেন তাদের সাথে সরাসরি যোগাযোগটা করতে পারেন, তাদের শিল্পকর্মগুলোর প্রদর্শনীটা আরো ভালোভাবে তারা করতে পারেন, সেটাই প্রধান উদ্দেশ্য এই মেলা।
He was saying in Bengali that the main purpose is to allow the artisans to interact directly with the buyers, as Shanta was saying earlier when she spoke. And this is the new initiative which we hope to see soon, which is when these crafts can go online and be available through nabanna.com. Thank you, Atre. Thank you for that. And so that was just a very, very quick sort of look at what we try to do every year and, give you a feel of the sort of variety of things that are available and the sort of variety of color and texture and everything that's there for those 10 days of the Mela. And also a little bit of the very peaceful rural area that Shantiniketan was when everything began, and it still retains a lot of that rural charm, even though it's developed into quite a busy small town, but it's still very open, it's still full of greenery, that wonderful red earth, and and lots of local initiatives of crafts and art. So, Julia, what do you feel? Are you ready to come now?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation. It's been so eye-opening to, see right into the festival and everything that's going on, and what a celebration it looks like, of so much color and variety and such, niche talents and skill that you're bringing to a platform. I think what struck me as being really significant is that you are building or helping artisans build upon their skill sets and grow those skill sets, which is really important, because I know in the United Kingdom, so many artisan skills are getting lost, and I presume it's the same sort of problem going on in industrial societies now, is that the artisan skills, if they're not invested in, they get missing. So it's just wonderful to see your festival investing in that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also I was struck by the fact that you're educating also, so not just developing skills, but teaching them to new members of your society, so to the youth. And I was interested to find out, how without your sort of input and help with the youth and helping them develop the skill sets, how likely would it be that they would continue with that? Is it something that's getting lost without sort of support and help and encouragement?
Shanta, you want to say something on that?
Yeah, sure. Certain craft categories like the ones you saw in brass, which is called Dokra, it is now, I think, quite popular because they are creating jewelry with it and contemporary artifacts which suit contemporary lifestyles. So it's, like bowls or embellishment to a wooden bowl. So it's, I think that has quite a footing already. And similarly, there are many other crafts, but some are dying, and that is because there are so few crafts artisans left who actually know how to do it, and their children have gone on, left the village to go to an urban setting for any odd job they can get for survival and to just maintain their family. So there are some sad stories, but we are trying to do as much as we can. And I'm also involved with the Crafts Council of West Bengal, and their mission is very much aligned with reviving dying art forms. So hopefully, in collaboration with them, we will be able to revive some of the old traditions, and somehow you can revive it by showing them samples and starting from absolutely as if like it's a new start. And Crafts Council has done that with the traditional Katha work, with designs going to the museums, educating the women who embroider and giving them ideas and inspiration to do a quality which is of that standard, and also the design, take that as an inspiration. So while some are dying, but some are, and the government is also doing a lot to support artisans, but I think they can do much better if there is design intervention and the quality, because it's very difficult to maintain the quality. If they get a big supply, sometimes the quality goes down, and anything handmade is not standardized. So those are the things, challenges. But I think if we persevere, we will be able to do quite a bit.
Fantastic. And it was also interesting to hear about the empowerment of women, particularly through this work and the projects.
Yes, I think the SAMT workshops have really focused on women, right, Shanta, to sort of really encourage them.
Yes, they have. Yes.
In some of the crafts, the women were playing a supporting role, and I think the trust has tried to encourage them to come into actually creating rather than just being the background supporters, preparing the materials and things. Yeah.
Yes.
Turning them, giving the opportunity for being entrepreneurs.
Yes. And women work much better with the small self-help groups, and they are eligible for microfinance loans, which are available. And if they're consistent in repaying, I think they can get bigger loans. So there is a system in place which, if they produce quality goods and are consistent, it can work. And it has been working for many groups like that. And we try to give them the skills so that they have a consistent, sustainable income generation plan.
And that's fantastic, because I know from experience working with artisans in the United Kingdom, there are so many that have amazing creative ideas, and they're entrepreneurial, they just get going. But actually, when they start the process, there's lots of laws and a jurisdiction that they need to adhere to, but actually they don't know about it. So it's a huge learning curve. Sometimes that can sort of be prohibitive for artisans. They need to be signposted to know what to do and where to go so that they can flourish and grow.
Yeah. And what you were mentioning earlier about the youth, there's a tendency to see these as kind of outdated, old-fashioned, fuddy-duddy things that were part of a family tradition, something their grandparents did and their fathers did, and it's not in tune with what younger people want. So one of the challenges is also to bring the crafts into the contemporary space, to make them cool, to make them desirable, to make them be seen as fashionable parts of good living, lifestyles. And that encourages youngsters to feel that what they're doing is something that they're contributing that's actually wanted and desirable and relevant, and not just about, old-fashioned things that no one wants anymore. I think that's also been happening. So that's great.
Yeah. And I'm interested personally in the rice as well, and that's fascinating, and I'm sure that so much we'd like to learn about in the UK because of not growing rice here at all. But it looks like that's quite a big part of the start of the festival.
Yes, rice is a very fundamental, staple for the people of especially India and especially West Bengal. It's a big rice growing district, state, and there are many gourmet dishes which are cooked from rice, and they're very healthy and they're like comfort food. So we will next year, we hope we can organize a food festival. We start the first year we had Nabanna, we had started with the food festival, and we got a partner from Bangladesh, because Bangladesh and West Bengal are very aligned in their culture and traditions and food habits. So I hope next year we will have a special section on food and sustainable and organic farming, and what are the challenges and how we can propagate it, and biodiversity, all that which is necessary for the future.
Absolutely, it sounds fascinating, and something that we major on quite a lot in Market Drayton. I touched on this when I spoke at your festival. We have an organic farm locally, just on the outskirts of the town, and it's run in a really interesting way. It's pioneering actually, and there's a lot we can probably share, and it is the future, it is the way forward, and it's a conversation we all need to be having really, and sharing our ideas.
Right.
I have to excuse myself because there is another meeting that I have to go to.
Well, that's absolutely fine. I think we probably will finish on that point anyway. It's been absolutely really wonderful having you as part of the Ginger and Spice Festival. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
And your time, and we look forward to developing our friendship and how we can work together in the future. And please do keep in touch, and thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you. We look forward to that.
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.